Welcome to Zwartkops, the arena of motorsport, for another round of the Extreme Festival. And as always with the Extreme Festival, it's not all about what happens on the track. There's lots to see and do off the circuit as well. And with this weekend forming part of Women's Day, a little bit extra thrown in for the ladies. But let's kick the action off with the G&H Transport Extreme Supercars. 18 cars all in all, and the number 38 special out there is Mark Totoy.
It's one of the ex-Class A production cars. Comes from Michael Stevens' stable. I think Sean Watson-Smith raced our car. And yeah, we're running it now on slicks, and it's not as highly tuned as it used to be, but it's nice and reliable, and I'm enjoying it.
Dion du Plessis and the KTM Crossbow also looking forward to today's action.
This is a Crossbow RR. In other words, it's a standard 2-litre, not standard. It's a 2-litre Audi TFSI motor, same as in the Golf R32, but this one has a K4 turbo on it. So currently it's pushing out about 230 kilowatts, so there's still a lot to play with. Next year's motor, I'm hoping for 300 kilowatt. But it's a little bit down on power, down on top speed, but through the corners it's lovely.
Kind of extreme supercars without a GT3 997, and this one is driven by Sun Woodley.
It's quite a journey. We have to travel to all the tracks. So it's a lot of effort from our side to do it. And we don't get a chance to practice, so we only practice when we race. It's a Porsche Cup 3.8 litre, standard, and it's 460 horsepower. And that's it. It's a lovely car, beautiful to drive, sequential gears. I enjoy it thoroughly.
There's not many cars out here that don't enjoy coming to Zwartkops, especially for Extreme Festival. And here we go. Race 1 underway. Joining me in the commentary will be Mel Spur. Mel, it's a nice field of cars here, but unfortunately, we don't have the Viper.
We don't. Sadly, Shoal didn't make it out for this round, but still some very nice cars out in the field. And there's Jonathan and Chris battling for the lead already.
Gianni on their tail, then the Crossbow of Dion du Plessis. Look out for Willem van der Westhuizen coming through there in the 360 option of the Ferrari. Oh, a little misgear there from Budnick. That'll allow Jonathan du Toit to take the lead as they come out of speed and sound sweep onto the back straight. The 430 Ferrari leads things out over the two BMs. The Crossbow looking for a way past just behind them. Oliver Delay, yes indeed, in the Ford GT1.
He's just ahead of Sun Woodley in his 997, and Devin Robertson is out in Keishaw Patamba's BMW, and Nicky Dix out there in the Porsche alongside.
Incredibly, that BMW of Kish Patamba that Devin Robertson is driving, as we see Dion du Plessis sneaking through here, and a bit of a battle at the front end. Wow, that was good moving there from du Plessis, but go back the thought on Devin Robertson. He's in Kish Patamba's 324-cylinder BMW. In amongst these very, very powerful cars, that is some seriously talented driving.
Sure is. Nice to have Devin join us. Actually, hopefully he'll be joining us a little bit more.
Love the fact that he's back in this championship and doing well as well. As they come out of Goldwagen, Nicky Dix has snuck through on him and looking for a way past. So the two 997 GT3 Cup cars fighting out. Then it's the Ferrari, then Ricky Giannaccaro. Not a great start for him, but he'll certainly get up there if he can. Sean Durmany also involved in this one. Yes, indeed, man, coming all the way from Belito to come and play in his Focus ST.
Great to have all the Durban boys here. We've got Brian Penny in Dale's car, Sean, as you say, and then Sun Woodley. So great to have a nice mix in the field.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Big pity that we missed out on Craig Jarvis coming up here as well, all the way from Cape Town, but I'm sure he'll be at the next one on the 24th of September. That's a Wednesday, remember. Great stuff here. Chris Budnick now closing in on du Toit. Du Toit's got a slight advantage though, and I think here, if you give that advantage to Jonathan du Toit, you're not going to make it up that easily. As they come out of 7 now, down towards Goldwagen. This is where Budnick has got a little bit of additional power. Remember, the BMW probably a little bit more powerful than that 430 Ferrari, but the 430 handles so well around this circuit, especially in the hands of Jonathan du Toit. A bit further back here, Nicky Dix under massive pressure from Devin Robertson. That is an impressive drive. Willem van der Westhuizen, though, doing the exact same thing as what Robinson's doing, putting the pressure, applying it in the 360 Ferrari as they tip it through BMW Performance Corner, headed to Renexcon. Hard braking is required from Nicky Dix. He looked up the inside of Sun. Sun saw him coming, shut the door, but much better drive out of Nicky Dix coming out of that corner. There's Paul Hill fighting it out, and looks like he's got du Toit all over the back of him. And Brian Penny, he's going to have a busy day in the saddle today. Not only is he fighting here, but also in the BMW cars a bit later on.
Great to see, as I said, Brian up here in Dale's car. Dale couldn't make it, but he was there in spirit and supporting everybody from the side of the track, and it was great to have him join us.
Here's the onboard view through Cashel Edge corner from the monster Willem van der Westhuizen's car. It's the Ferrari 360. It's a 3.6 V8. This is a 4.3 V8 at the front end. And Jonathan du Toit looks like he's done everything right. KTM crossbow, no answer from Dion Duplessis. In fact, Dion Duplessis has moved up into second. Wow, and look at that! Dick sneaking up on the inside of Gianni Giannacaro. He has got his work cut out for him now to try and find a way back on that Porsche as they come down on the braking markers for Goldwagen. Hard braking is required. That's exactly what Gianni's doing. They've both got through on Sun Moodley, who's made a mistake somewhere out on track. And with only about 4 laps to go, that is crucial. Oliver Delay trying to hang on and possibly steal a podium here from everybody else. Look at Brian Penny. He's in an epic battle here with Mark.
He's going so fast, Greg. Even the decals are coming off the windscreen, so that's good
I was about to say that. That's awesome to see. I think there's a bit of that Mrs. Brown's barbecue sauce that's on that 350Z's windscreen. But up the inside, the 38 Special snuck through. So Du Toits are in it, and thick in it, yeah, big time, with Budnick going side by side with Jono. It's side by side action with Mark Du Toit and Brian Penny, but looks like Budnick might have it here on the inside. No! Jonathan Du Toit driving that 430 around the outside and the dirt to beat things out there. Can you handle that? I think there might have been a little rubbing his racing between the two of them.
There was a small little bump there for sure, but that was the last lap, so obviously Chris Budnick had to try everything he could because here Jono's coming for the flag.
And I think Vacamedes might just survive. No, he won't. He's been betted on the line, and that'll be the end of it for Georgia Vacamedes in the Ocean Basket 911 RSR. Good drive here from Dion Duplessis. Consistent, stayed out of trouble, takes second place. And third place, just keeping the Porsche and the BMW out there, was Ollie Delay. But there you see, once again, up the inside, Budnick having a look. Little touch, got the Ferrari sideways, but he backed out. That was good driving for Budnick. I think that's what probably saved both those cars. Yeah, we see it from his point of view as they get onto the brakes into Sassel. Jono's on the outside. He turns in, little nudge. Hardly any damage to both the cars. Budnick gets going again. But in fact, Budnick had a big issue and ended up right at the back of the field. So Jonathan survived. Budnick eventually finishing down in 16th place. Congratulations once again to Jonathan Du Toit winning things out over Dion Duplessis. Oliver Delay will come through for third place in the Marlboro Crane Hire Ford GT1. Nicky Dixon fourth in the first of the Porsches. And then Gianni Giannacaro beating out Sun Moodley. Devin Robinson in his first outing in that four-cylinder comes through for seventh, beating out Van der Westhuizen and Ricky Giannacaro, with Sean Dermody doing a great effort to get into the top 10. Paul Hill just behind him, then George Smallberger, Brian Penny, Georgia Vacamedes, Budnick down in 16th as we said with Jimmy, and Andre van der Merwe 17 and 18. We managed to catch up with one of the protagonists in this last lap incident.
It was so close. I thought I had Jonathan right at the end. Unfortunately, we came together at the tabletop. Really wheel-to-wheel touch, but enough to take me out, and not even a scratch on his car. Can you believe it? So hopefully we can get the car rebuilt for the next race, and then I want some revenge.
We got a couple of people out onto the grid to intermingle with our drivers, which they absolutely loved. But they're all here to see the racing, and that's exactly what's about to happen for race 2. Good to see both the protagonists in that last lap incident back on track. Budnick alongside Jonathan Du Toit. In fact, Jonathan Du Toit, he's not holding back there. He was accelerating a little bit. I'm not quite sure if he's going to be caught out with maybe a possible jump start, but he certainly was a lot further ahead this time of that BMW than what we saw in race number 1, and he's used it to his advantage. So if he hasn't been caught out with a jump start, I think he might just be able to get away from the rest of this field and dominate. This is the happiest man in motorsport. Look at the big smile on his face there. Willem van der Westhuizen just loves being behind the wheel of his monster Ferrari.
There you got Sun Moodley coming around the outside of him into turn 3 in the speed and sound sweep. And we've got Devin Robinson hanging onto the back of Gianni again.
Yeah, I think there's a little dice that's going to happen between those two. There's no doubt about it. Very fit drivers in their own rights, and one of them actually using Momsen bicycles all the way through his training regime. That's not the way to do it. That is Budnick in the same corner that he had the incident with Jonathan Du Toit, and he ran wide all on his own. So something has broken on that big car, and I think he might be out of it completely.
Here we go on board with Gianni. Always nice to see the quick shift on the gear lever there. And going into turn 8, Goldwagen corner, we've got Devin still hanging on to the back of him.
Oh, that four-cylinder machine being driven tremendously well by Devin Robinson, an ex-South African saloon car champion, so he certainly knows how to get a tin top around this track. However, no one is bettering this man to do that job. Jonathan Du Toit opening up a very comfortable margin now, but there is a battle royal for second place between Giannacaro, Dion Duplessis, Nicky Dix and Devin Robinson.
There we had the little GTI of Smallburgers hanging onto the back end of Mark du Toit in the Audi today as well. And Paul Hill just ahead in his Kalex BMW.
On board here with Gianni as they head up the hill. Sequential box through up into fourth now, hard on the brakes, into third, back down to second, pitches it in nicely and looks for a way past on that GT1. Oliver Delay, I think your days are numbered. These two BMWs are hunting them down properly and bringing Sun Moodley along for the ride. They'd like to get through because they can see that both Nicky Dix and Dion Duplessis are starting to open up a little bit of a margin that they don't want to make up later on in this race.
Pity Sun Moodley's teammate Andrew Colbert wasn't here, and there we've got Ollie trying very hard, running wide in turn 8.
Not in that car, Ollie. That car is not built to go off-road, and that could have done some damage to the bottom end of that Marlboro Crane Hire Ford GT1. It's built by Bailey Edwards cars. It's based on the Ford GT, and what an awesome bit of machinery that is. But I think it might have had an issue. Look at that, it comes through. No, he's still flying for now, but Giannicaro is certainly closing in on him, so let's keep an eye on that. I thought was the case, and there you go, confirmation. Something has broken on that GT1.
What a pity. Luckily, it looks like he's going to make it. No, he's going to be stuck in the gravel trap.
That's it. He's out of this one, unfortunately. Parked down at Castral Edge Corner. So there'll be yellow flags down there for a little while they clear that car. The 38 Special goes through there. Mark du Toit, this time out, not really battling with anybody. So his previous race antics with Brian Penny is not happening because Penny has actually got away at the front end and left du Toit behind.
Brian Penny's actually just on the back end of Ricky Giannicaro in his M3.
Great to see that little battle if it does rage, because I'm sure Dale will love that one if his old man gives Ricky a run for his money. Nicky Dix, though, is certainly closing on Dion Duplessis. There is Sun Moodley, the Bigfoot Express Freight big boss, and not too far off the big boss man himself, Devin Robertson. Nicky Dix on the inside, heading into 4. Oh, he's cooked it too far and just misses the marshals. Wow, that could have ended up in tears. Did you not see the yellow flags, Mr. Dix? There has certainly been, for 2 laps, yellow flags into that corner, and now there is a safety car. I think that was a good call there from the COC, bringing out the Toyota Auris from Pretoria North Toyota, and that was due to the fact that we do have that GT1 and even Nicky Dix having to go off at Castral Edge. All of a sudden, things have closed up, though, and Dion Duplessis is right with a Ferrari with 4 laps to go, and we are under green flag again.
Yes, this was a slightly longer race with 12 laps, so obviously perhaps the safety car just brought them a little bit closer and did help, bunches them up a little bit more.
Gianni trying to find a way through early on, and he is side by side now with the KTM Crossbow looking for a way through. He's had a phenomenal day in the saddle, and he's got through on him. Can you believe that action? That BMW has just snuck through. It's the CSL option. It's a GT version of the CSL, and it's now up to second place. So Gianni is looking to clean things up here overall in his own sponsored event. G&H Transport sponsors the Extreme Supercars, and it's a G&H Transport Speed and Sound BM that is in second, and it is a Trans-Africa Racing Audi that is parked on the outside of Turn 4 Castral Edge Corner, just below where we are now. Dion Duplessis trying to go around the outside of Gianni Giannicaro, runs onto the dirt. That Audi-powered machine, will it have what it takes on the BM? No, the BM wins out. So it is a battle of Germany, because here comes Stuttgart as well, with Porsche involved. So you've got Audi power under the KTM bonnet, you've got the BMW just ahead of it, and of course the Porsche coming in. But they've all got to try and catch the Ferrari, and they're not going to do that. Italia wins out with the 430 of Jonathan du Toit. Gianni Giannicaro just keeping out Dion Duplessis, Nicky Dix, and Devin Robinson. What a way to end things off there with Sun Moodley in 6th.
Paul Hill in 7th and 2nd in Class D. Big up to him, going that little bit quicker and breaking into Class Ds. Willem van der Westhuizen in his Ferrari. Ricky, Brian Penny, Smallburger winning out Class F.
And Avakamides beating Mark du Toit to the line with Andre van der Merwe and Oliver Delay right at the back with the DNF. Congratulations once again to Jonathan du Toit, a magnificent effort in the Ferrari.
Second race, I had a good start. I could see Chris was coming, so I put my head down and decided to go as quickly as I could. I was quite lucky that Chris, I think he had a problem with his car, so made my life a bit easier, and then I just backed it off, was just making sure I didn't over-rev the car, and good race.